Welcome back to the Bunkhouse. I am so proud to have with us today a dear friend of mine from out in Throckmorton, Texas, who is a rancher, who's been on the same land for a long, long time. Rob Brown's family is one of those almost unique folks these days. There's a difference in people who own the land and landed people. People who own land are pretty certain they own it, and landed people know that they belong to the land. And those are the people who produce our foodstuffs, and we're dependent upon to eat and stay healthy. Rob, I'm so proud you joined us. And I want you to tell us about your family and how long it's been in Texas and how long you've been ranching and what you're doing.
Well, actually, our family started in Virginia, and after the Civil War, where they lost everything, they came to Texas and started over, and ended up in Calvert, and were big traders in horses and mules, and farmed and also ran cattle. We have records of them having registered Angus cattle as early as in the 1890s.
Really?
And then in Calvert, Franklin had outvoted them for the county seat, and great-granddad bought the courthouse and raised 7 children there. And the oldest, my granddad, had a ranch in Jack County, just west of Fort Worth, and sold it and bought an interest in a commission company in 1903 when they opened the 04 stockyards. And he managed that commission company there on the stockyards. And he started buying land in Throckmorton County that same year in 1903. And Dad was the first to actually live there and hold it together during the Depression and the tough times. And we've been there in Throckmorton County ever since.
So that's how many generations in ranching in Texas?
4. And then I've got children and grandchildren, so we're on the 6th. and they're all very active, have 4 children and 17 grandchildren. And 3 of the children are involved in the ranch. They're at home, and my oldest son, Rob A., has a ranch of his own out at Stinnett, and has 7 children, doesn't have to hire any help. He raised it.
Raised his own help. That's out in that country where I grew up, so I know how tough that country is to ranch, so I have a feeling for that. But why do you think this chose Throckmorton County? Tell us about Throckmorton County.
Well, Throckmorton County is a very fertile county. I think one of the leads to that is how big the mesquite trees get. You look at your stronger soils that don't have cedar or post oak in them, and nothing but big bull mesquites, and clear down to the sprouts. But it's real strong soil, and cattle and wildlife both do very well. It has a great mixture of summer and winter grasses. We have a Texas winter grass that stays green in the winter, and then Sido's Grammer and Viney Mesquite and Big Blue Stem and all in the summer. And it's a good year-round grazing cow-calf country.
Those big mesquites can send those taproots down a long, long ways. What's the deepest you think you've ever found a taproot?
Well, they say there's more tree under the ground than there is above the ground, so that gives you a pretty good idea of how deep the roots go. And it's a menace. But we're learning to live with it. We're doing a lot of things in Mother Nature's way. We're actually using fire again, which was Mother Nature's way before we were here and settled it. They claim that country burned every 4 to 6 years. And now we have taken the science of control burns and do a very safe job and can control the prickly pear and the mesquite much more economically than we can mechanically and chemically.
But if those mesquite trees get big, what does that say about your subsoil moisture and the ability of the soil to hold moisture?
Well, it like I said, it tells the whole story. I mean, if it's a big tree and you get further west and you don't see the big bull mesquites, but they're a healthy plant and they do reproduce, and they say a pound of beans is real good feed, but it'll grow 1,000 pounds of grass if you use that water in a different way.
Yes, that's a good quote. And also, they're legumes, so they actually put nitrogen back into the soil.
That's right.
But let's talk about your stock. The stock that you're using today and the breeding program, does that go back a ways in your family?
Well, it really does. Like I said, my great-granddad was selling restored Angus bulls. My granddad brought the first Hereford cattle into Throckmorton County. And I brought the first Simmental cattle into the county. And, of course, Dad was very involved in the cattle development of the Hereford cattle area, and he helped organize the American Quarter Horse Association, and we've been involved in it ever since.
So your horse program's pretty extensive, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's not real high tech. We still pasture breed and do it the old timey way. Where our cattle business is just the opposite. It's very high tech. Mm-hmm. We have Angus and Red Angus and Simmental Angus bulls that we're selling next month, and we do a lot of artificial insemination. We do quite a bit of embryo transfer to our super cows. We can average about 6 to 7 eggs a flush and do that 4 or 5 times a year. So not only can we use semen from the best bulls in the world, but we can beat them to what we've developed to be the best cows in our herd.
Right. Well, you're still providing beef for the dinner tables of America in a quality way, Rob Brown.
We sure are, and it's amazing, but we've increased weaning weights well over 100 pounds in the last 30 years, and we see these carcass weights up and everything. There's a reason why. These cattle grow faster and are more efficient, has less outside fat, more marbling. We even test these cattle for carcass traits with a sonogram, and how big the ribeye is, how much marbling, how much outside fat. There's about 12 different traits that we trace through on the cattle: birth weight, weaning weight, yearling weight, milk, a lot of different cavities, a lot of different traits that we measure these cattle for. Keep a lot of records, but we got a lot of good friends, and we love the business.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today, Rob. I always enjoy being with you and love to hear about your family and what you're doing to still provide beef for the dinner tables of America.
Well,
I'm proud
thank
of
you.
you.